Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Let me just pause the record there. There we record. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Welcome everybody. Hare Krishna to our Brihat Bhagavatamrta. Welcome Abha Chandravali. Welcome Abha Gayatri, Gopi Gita, Mabhavanga, and Nitai Mata. Brihat
Hare
Bhagavatamrta.
Krishna.
Thanks. Hare Krishna. All right. Without further ado, let's open up the Brihat Bhagavatamrita and offer some prayers to Srila Prabhupada. And we'll get straight into it on starting today on text 177. But I'm going to go back to begin with and just highlight, because last week, if you remember, it was quite interesting because what was being described was the glories of Lakshmi and her different expansions. And there's some very interesting details. So we'll just go back a little bit and highlight some of those glories of Lakshmi and the tattva of Lakshmi as well. It was quite interesting. So let me share the screen as usual. Share screen. And here we are. Okay, here we are. Hare Krishna. So recording's going on and everyone's here. You can see the screen. Hare Krishna. Everyone's ready? Yes. Mother Mango apologizes. He has an exam. Okay. Hope he does well in that exam. Hare Krishna. Here comes Mother Jamavati and Anupama. Okay, yeah, so last week, here we are. Just to make it a little bit easier, I've highlighted the points which you wanted to just refocus on. So first of all, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, she shares in the glories of Lord Krishna. So just as Lord Krishna has unlimited glories and manifestations, so it is the same with Lakshmi. Yeah, and as Krishna embodies Satchit Ananda, the same with Lakshmi as well. Describes here, she is the embodiment of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. And here, just as Krishna's incarnations are non-different from him, as we've been hearing, also her manifestations and incarnations are non-different. But at the same time, there are some differences. So Achinchya, Beta, Beta, Tattva, simultaneously one and different. So, and here, this was interesting, text 170, if you remember this. She's neglected by liberated souls, yeah, and candidates for liberation, and by devotees of the Lord. So what does that mean? We've just been hearing how exalted she is, but now we're hearing that she's neglected. Now, it's a particular form of Lakshmi that is neglected. So I read here, if you look here, I've highlighted it. Among the many expansions of the goddess of fortune, there is one Lakshmi who presides over all the opulences of the material world. You follow? So that's the form of Lakshmi which is neglected by the devotees. Yeah, I just read this whole section here. All the residents of the universe, including the rulers of various planets, owe their powers to her. So these are material powers. Even the mystic cities of yogis come from her. Persons striving for liberation neglect this form of Lakshmi because the opulences she bestows are nothing but favors for sense gratification, which genuine bhaktas or seekers of real liberation are not attracted to, right? So there's different forms of Lakshmi. So this is the material, we could say, if we dare say it, the material expansion or the material form who gives material benedictions which do nothing but continue, which do nothing but keep one in the cycle of birth and death. So that's that particular form of Lakshmi. So among those expansions of Lakshmi is the controlling deity of material opulence. So it's that Lakshmi which is neglected by the devotees. And then more here. And why? Well, describe this we're familiar with, isn't it? When we speak about Lakshmi, I remember last week we're speaking about she's chanchala. She's always disappearing from one place and appearing in another. Thus, at any moment, she can abandon persons who have taken shelter of her. Right, so that's the Lakshmi we were just speaking about. Nonetheless, she is an incarnation of Mahalakshmi, of the original Lakshmi. So she has many of the same qualities of the original goddess of fortune. She appeared from the milk ocean. Let's read this again. She has many of the exalted qualities of the original goddess of fortune. Thus we hear that during the churning of the milk ocean, when the material Lakshmi appeared from it, the material Lakshmi appeared from the milk ocean. Lord Vishnu accepted her as his wife, and she took up residence on his chest. But then it says, in contrast with this Lakshmi, the original Mahalakshmi is Lord Narayan's dearmost servant, always fully dedicated to his service. She remains on his chest eternally and is never fickle. That's the form that the devotees worship with great reverence. Yeah, they never neglect her, as they do the material expansion of Lakshmi. All right, and then what text is this? This is on 7.2. So the one original, the original Mahalakshmi, she's purely the one purely spiritual goddess of fortune. She's the Lord of Vaikuntha's most beloved. She's always by his side. That's the original Mahalakshmi. So Durga, Lord Shiva's, remember we got a bit confused last week trying to figure out Durga. So Durga is an expansion of Mahalakshmi. So then Durga has multiple expansions, but this, Lord Shiva's consort Durga is also an expansion of Mahalakshmi, and so are Durga's multiple expansions, with their various forms and names. I remember we mentioned this last week. The terrible goddess of Chamuda, the wife of Lord Shiva's frightful expansion, Bhairava, is also an incarnation of Lakshmi. You know, the ghastly form I mentioned last week, wearing skulls as a necklace, etc. And a little bit more here. And then we'll get into reading. Just hang on there. I'll just give a little summary of where we left off last week. Lakshmi is called by various terms as Mahavibhuti, Yoga, and Yogamaya. So this is the role she plays. It's quite significant that she with respectively indicate the Supreme Lord's energy for manifesting the jivas. So the Supreme Lord's energy for manifesting the jivas is by dint of the potency of Lakshmi. His personal energy of desire, that's Mahalakshmi. And his energy of the material modes that constitute inner matter. Okay. And 174, and just one last highlight is here. She is the mother who gives birth to varieties of ecstasy that appear during the worship of the Lord. So that's quite deep to fully comprehend that. So when one's worshiping the Lord, if one experiences ecstasy, then she's the origin of that, or she gives birth to that. That's her service to the Lord, to give ecstasy to the devotees. Through her, the Supreme Lord displays his different features. And then it's described in the purple here. I didn't highlight it, but it's described here, if I remember rightly, that let's just read a little. She is the agent who manifests many varieties of charm and sweetness in the Lord's devotional service. Both the Lord and his devotees have unique individual qualities. The Jiva and the personality of Godhead both belong to the same category. Okay. It is the Lord's consort Lakshmi who displays all the varieties of the Supreme Person and his devotional service. He is the original, he is the ultimate truth, one without the second, yet he has innumerable forms. He has countless varieties of beauty and charm and countless varieties of pastimes. All of this is forever manifest as substantial reality with the help of Goddess Lakshmi. And I think we left off last week by perhaps concluding that Lakshmi is an expansion of who?
Radharani.
Radharani, yeah. Although it hasn't, she hasn't been mentioned yet. She is the original Lakshmi. Yeah. And then from her manifest the Mahalakshmi, and then from her come all the expansions of Durga, etc. All right. So any questions about that? So a bit of knowledge there about Lakshmi, different forms of Lakshmi. There's a form of Lakshmi which the devotees do not give any attention to. It gives material prosperity and benedictions, but then there's the form of the original form that always remains with the Lord. All right. Hare Krishna. So let's hear someone else apart from me. All right. Let's start with 177. Yeah, we read 176 last week. So let's have someone read a few verses for us. Unless there's first any comments or questions on what we just covered there.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, go ahead. 177. Thank you so much.
Prabhu, 17. Okay, thank you. Oh, only the translation and commentary, Prabhu?
Yeah, we're just doing translations. We are letting you off the Sanskrit for
Okay.
this meeting.
Okay, Prabhu. The pure servants of the Lord understand
You're going through the tube. Anyway,
activities, but persons whose minds are confused by cannot figure out what she is. Is it okay now?
that's better. The
Well-
last second is better. So
Okay. But persons whose minds are confused by dry knowledge derived from bad logic cannot figure out what she is. Commentary. Philosophers can never fathom the truth of the
there you go. You see the page?
no.
Okay. Can everyone else see the page?
Yes, now.
Okay, it's
Sorry
coming through a bit slow. Yeah.
Yeah. Supreme Lord's personal energy with their dry, faulty logic.
Okay.
Narada said in text 165, Durvita Vitarka Isa Sakti, inconceivable indeed is this energy. And he made this statement in the course of proving that the personality of Godhead in his expanded forms is both one and many. Now he extends the idea of inconceivability to all the varieties of spiritual and material existence, which, without exception, emanate from him.
Oh, okay. So it's going on a different subject now after discussing Lakshmi. Yeah, continue over. 178.
Of the two divisions of the Lord's energy, the superior and the inferior, She is known as the superior energy. She acts on her own and is also called Prakriti, nature.
Right. My mistake. It's still speaking about Lakshmi. Yes.
Yeah.
She is known as the superior energy. She acts on her own and is also called Prakriti. Yeah, so that's, I presume, referring to
Oh,
like
this is Durga.
Durga. Yeah. Is it Durga?
Yeah, this is Durga, not Lakshmi.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, the
Commentary.
inferior. She is known as, well, she is known as superior energy. Perhaps we better read the purple.
Yeah,
We
yeah. Okay,
might
thank you.
explain.
Commentary. Authorities like Prahlad Maharaj have glorified the principal energy of the Supreme as his Parashakti. Yes, in the Vishnu Purana 1.19.16 to 176 to 177, Sri Prahlada contrasts her with the Apara Shakti, the inferior energy of the Supreme.
You must be using a phone or something because you can't see the page, no?
Yeah, it's okay. Sarvabhutesu Sarvatman
Just read the
Yasatsu.
translation.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, soul of all beings, O Lord of the demigods, I offer my obeisances to that eternal but inferior energy of yours, who is the shelter of the material modes found in all created beings. She is devoid of variety and beyond comprehension by words and the mind. She delimits the knower and his knowledge. I offer my homage to her, the supreme controller in this world. The Supreme Lord's inferior energy called Maya, who manifests inert matter, is beyond the range of words and the mind because she is devoid of material distinctions, categories, qualities, and so on. This is so because she is in essence as an essence and aspect of the absolute truth. Nevertheless, being the eliminator of all things, she manifests the difference between the jiva, who is the knower, and his knowledge.
Mm.
She does this the same way she illuminates the distinctions between external objects like clay pots. Another way of understanding this concept is that the Lord's inferior energy delimits the jhana or jhanis, the understanding, the persons exclusively dedicated to theoretical knowledge. These speculative philosophers cannot surmise the truth about her by conjuncture because she limits the power of their knowledge. Indeed, only those persons who have pure devotion for the Supreme Lord have the mental strength to understand her. She is called Ishwari because she belongs to the essential being of the essential being of the Lord. She is identical with him in eternally and other transcendental qualities. Alternatively, the current verse spoken by Narada does not refer to the Lord's inferior energy, even though it includes the word Prakriti. Rather, Narada is saying that the Lord's superior energy, who is completely capable of arranging all the varieties that emanate from the Lord, is called Para, because she belongs to the pleasure potencies of the spiritual realm. She is also called Shakti and Prakriti by the speakers of the Puranas. The word Prakriti means intrinsic nature, indicating that she is natural, autonomous potency of the personality of Godhead. she is said to be non-different from him because her substance is the same as his.
Yes. All right, so quite some details, some technical details there. Perhaps difficult to break down and have a very clear understanding of it. As far as I can understand, this is speaking about she's sharing the opulences of the Lord. And many other details are given there.
Prabhu,
Yes.
it is, I don't know, I understood like they were speaking about Lakshmi and then about Durga and then about Srimati Radharani.
No,
Is that right?
that was my interjection about Radha. Her name hasn't been mentioned yet. Mahalakshmi is an expansion of Radha, as far as I understand. So what's being spoken of now? Is it Durga or is it Mahalakshmi?
Now, because he said material world in Durga, but the last para is saying a transcendental, just like the Lord. So it is Radharani.
Because she said,
the last something what I read lastly, which I understood. Now I don't where it is. Which one I read?
Well, I'm just waiting to the word Radha is invoked, and it's not yet. So I presume we're speaking about the expansions of Radha being Mahalakshmi, and then down the line you got Lakshmi. Then further down the line you got the material Lakshmi, results of material opulences. Then you got Durga. So here it's gone back to describing her sharing the same opulences as the Lord. We just read 177, isn't it? No, 178 we read. Okay. She is called Shakti and Prakriti. The word Prakriti means intrinsic nature. So yeah, so she is the all autonomous potency of the personality of Godhead. Sorry about this, it's quite detailed. I don't know, hope everyone's following as best as we can. So autonomous means having freedom to govern itself or control its own affairs. So she is, so she's non-different from him because there's substance. All right, I guess we better read on and see if things become a bit more clearer.
For me, it's like bouncing back.
Yeah. All right, what I do is let me have a read of this next one here. Quite a long purport, so let me read here. So 179. She has many expansions or named in terms of various manifestations they produce. Maya, who comprises the material modes, appears as her shadow. Okay. Commentary. Although the expansions of the Lord's divine energy are immeasurably variegated, they can be analyzed in terms of the visible existences that they create. That is, the varieties of devotees, devotional service, the objects of devotion, each with their ecstasies, moods of exchange, and external appearances. This is all the potency of Lakshmi. Yeah. The manifestations of the material energy can also be categorized in terms of diverse activities in fruitive work, materialistic devotion, cultivation of knowledge, and so on, each with its own subdivisions. Everyone with us so far? You still with us?
Yes.
Yes. All right. In the Vishnu Purana 132, Sri Parasha Rishi, Parashamuni, I think that's the father of Vyasadeva, describes the manifold effects of the Lord's creative potency. So that's that's Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. All things that exist have their own potencies, understandable only by transcendental intelligence, or best of ascetics. The Supreme Truth also has his real potencies for creation and other functions, and these belong to him as the power of heat belongs to fire. Commenting on this verse, Srila Sutta Swami has written, all right, I won't try and go through that Sanskrit. Let's just read the translation. Like gems, mantras, and so on, all things in this world have energies that can be understood only by inconceivable knowledge. All right. So anyone into gemonology or whatever it's called has certain energies. Although it may be difficult to comprehend, but they have energies. So it's understood by inconceivable knowledge. So this is the kind of knowledge one can acquire not by speculative reasoning, but only by confronting tangible evidence one cannot otherwise explain. Yeah? If you feel influenced by a certain gem, a certain mood manifests, it cannot be explained, it can only be experienced. Yeah. Or to put things in another way, these energies are inconceivable in that one can understand them not by analyzing them in terms of how, for example, they differ or don't differ, but only through atapati, that is, presuming what is required to make sense of the known facts. So that's a word for a certain type of logic in Nyaya. Yeah. So atapati. So presuming, you may not know, but you presume. Yeah, you presume something to make sense of something. Therefore, just as fire has potencies like the power to burn, the absolute truth, Sri Vishnu, has inconceivable energies. His innate existential potencies, which are the causes of creation and so on. And there's a verse on a Sri Tasha Upanishad is quoted, quote, he is not obliged to work and has no material senses to carry out work. No one can be found equal to him or greater. Excuse me. And as we hear from scripture, his own superior energy has her manifold aspects, knowledge, power, and movement, which act autonomously, which means as we just yeah, so autonomously means acts on their own will, independent. His own superior energy has her manifold aspects, her, so that's Lakshmi. Thus all things have their own conceivable energies, like the power of heat in fire, and the Supreme Lord has his inconceivable energies, non-different from him. This is affirmed in the Shruti text cited above. This is often quoted by Prabhupada, Parasya Shakti Vavadeva Suryate. Yeah, so it means the whole world is going on under the potencies of the Supreme Lord. Thus, nothing can defeat the potencies of the Supreme, just as not even the most potent conveyors of subtle power in the material world, gems, mantras, and so on, can remove the heat-giving potency of fire. In short, the Supreme has eternal unbounded powers, as declared in Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad. This Supreme is always the controller of everything, the ruler of everything, the master of everything in this world. The Supreme Brahman is the cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe through his potency known as Maya, who is a shadow form of his internal pleasure potency, Chit Vilas Shakti. Maya, who manifests the three modes of material existence, produces variegated creation, and because she is the shadow of the Lord's spiritual energy, material phenomena resemble the transcendental reality of Vaikuntha. All right. Any questions here? guess we can just hear. So basically, the whole process of creation and its variegatedness is all a manifestation of the potencies of Lakshmi. Yeah. So all that is differentiated here, all that has form, all that has subjective qualities, that's all the potency of Mahalakshmi. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radhe. All right. Ready for more philosophy? Yes. Hare Krishna. Someone like to read text 180? Perhaps we'll do like that. We'll take each read because it's yeah. Let's all read a verse in purple.
I can read it.
Yeah, go ahead, Madhya.
180.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Maya is the generator of the false material creation. She embodies falsity and ignorance, and therefore she cannot be described. Non-eternal yet primordial, she creates for the jivas the cycle of material life. Commentary. Text 180 through 182 define Maya in terms of her identity and effects. The created world of illusion consists of visible products and their causes, and Maya is the mother of all of them. She produces the illusion of material existence, the relative knowledge, ignorance, bondage, and liberation that make up the darkness of the conditioned souls who are removed from the knowledge of reality. Thus, she causes the jiva's cycle of birth and death by expanding the force of delusion. Because what she creates is illusory, her actual character cannot be identified. And because her influence over an individual's soul ends when that soul achieves true knowledge, she is said to be non-eternal. But in truth, she is beginningless because she is the shadow of the spiritual energy of the Supreme.
All right. Oh yeah, we're doing a verse. I just said. Yeah. So simultaneously, Achincha Beta Beta Tattva. Yeah. She is because she creates because what she creates is illusory. Her actual character cannot be identified. It's said to be non-eternal because when one achieves true knowledge, Divi Gan, but in essence also she's beginningless. Hare Krishna. All right, I'm trying to understand something which is inconceivable to my tiny brain. All right, someone we have Mother Gayatri, are you in a position to read?
Sorry, I'm on the go. You wouldn't hear me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anupama? Mother?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, I can read here.
Yeah, you can read.
Sorry, 181 is it? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's good to have different devotees read. We can all just to make sure you're all still with us and we haven't lost you.
Okay.
Okay, appearing in person.
Okay, text 181. Appearing in person, she presides over the eighth covering of the universe. Because the transformations of material creation do not affect her, she is called Prakriti. Commentary. Matter is always in flux, changing from one state to another. But because Maya is the superintendent of this continuous transformation of matter, she herself is never subject to change. This is called Prakriti, the primal form of material existence, the unchanging intrinsic basis of Vrikkati, that which changes. In short, the cause of change is unchangeable. Therefore, when Gopakumar visited Maya in her abode within the eighth covering of the universe, she referred to herself as non-different from the spiritual energy of the Lord, of whom she is separated expansion. Or if you want devotion to Vishnu, still you should be kind and worship me, the giver of devotion, for I am his maidservant, his sister and the embodiment of his energy. Brihat Bhagavatam.
Yeah, Brihat Bhagavatam, read that 238. So it seems like I can't remember the thread or why this has been spoken, this tattva on Lakshmi. But is it because Gopakumar is is come, Gobekama has visited Maya in her abode within the 8th covering of the universe. Might be mistaken, but perhaps that's why this is being this tattva is being described of Lakshmi now. All right, let's have some other Chandravali. Could you read 182 for us? No? Okay. I'll have a read again. It's just only by transcending her does one attain liberation and devotional service. So transcending Maya, okay? She has produced a material universe, a creation no more real than a magician's trick. All right, so it's Maya, yes. As a magician conjures up one illusion after another, Maya has countless ways to create false appearances. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, 183. But whatever that sorry, I'm moving things around on my screen so I can see. So, but whatever that energy creates appears substantial and real. All right, so the material world seems real, doesn't it? When you're shopping, everything seems quite real, isn't it? When you're cooking, it seems real. And when you're out on the street, all the varieties all seem real. Someone needs to mute. I don't know who that is. Like, we can just hear pages shuffling and things moving. So please, if you're not reading, if you could mute, thank you. But actually, it's all just a magical. It's all just a magical illusion. In contrast to the reality of the eternal realm, it's just a big magic trick, you know. Anyone seen a magician? They come and they perform a magic trick. Yeah, they create an illusion. Like sometimes Parashuram does magic. Anyone seen Parashuram's magic shows? He pulls a rabbit out of a hat or a dove, you know?
Yeah.
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 So that's all it. So that's what this material world is, in relationship to the real existence, which is the spiritual world. This is just like a magician's trick. It's all the energy of Maya. Yeah. So that's what's being described here, and it's very captivating. So we're completely captivated. Yeah, just like today I was in Harinam, and I haven't been on Oxford Street for a few months. So I was looking at all the new shops that have appeared. And looking at the average, I was distracted looking at the shops that have closed, looking at those that opened, and they're different. You know, they wear big screens now in their windows to attract your attention. You know, it's all, yeah. But whatever, let's read this first. But whatever that energy creates appears substantial and real, just like things that ascetics like Kardama create from their austerities. Kardama Muni created a big flying palace, wasn't it? You know, it describes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Through their austerities, mystic yoga, and other attainments. All right, so I guess this is a disposition on Maya now, isn't it? So it's interesting to read in that sense. The Lord's energies, both spiritual and material, are his personal creative potencies. Whatever is produced by the Lord's own Shakti, excuse me, I've got some, is real and substantial, in the sense that such a creation lasts for some time. All right, so even finite souls like Kardama and Shobari were able to create wonders that were substantial and real, like Kardama's flying palace, which could travel anywhere he desired. Certain inner objects in the material world, such as potent gems and mantras, also have such creative power. Magicians are expert in producing illusions. They know how to bewilder people. Yeah, so just like Maya knows how to bewilder people. Just like a magician. yet their magical creations are unreal, because those creations cannot be used for any practical purpose, cannot act in any real way, and after a moment cease to, so moving around again, cease to exist. So see, magic tricks, they only last for a certain time, then they cannot remain as an eternal fact because it's not real, because it's an illusion. Yeah. So
Yes, and I was just going
Well,
to add to that.
please,
You get people who are pretending to be incarnations of God, producing like ashes from somewhere, like a magic trick
yeah,
or a gold watch.
yeah,
I mean, a gold watch. Where did that come from?
yeah,
And the people become really bewildered by it.
yeah. They become really, especially more simple-hearted people, then see that person as being Bhagavan. Yeah, there was one such person. He's since passed away, but I'm sure there's some that are present now. Yeah, to bewilder people with their presentations. Yeah. There was another, what was that? What's an example of this this and something which was illusory and attracted the goddess of fortune? Anyone can cite that pastime? I can give you a clue. Ramayan.
Oh yes, the deer.
Yeah, Marichi manifest as a golden
Yes.
deer, and then Sita became very much enchanted, and she wanted that deer as a pet. But it's all the magical creation. Yeah, so that's like this material world. Yeah, it's like a magical creation which we are enchanted by. Yeah. So in contrast to such useless illusions, adept ascetics and yogis are able to create things that anyone can see are substantial and real. The creators of such things enjoy their creations as they like, and the objects created may last for thousands of years. Think just like Kardima's flying palace. Yeah. It was of substance. Yeah. It was an actual fact. Yeah. All right. Nitai Mata keeps coming in and out, letting her in again. Okay, without many readers, Mother Labangi, like to read 184? Yes, and then next we can have Mother
Yeah.
Mother Anupama can read. It's a short purple.
Yeah. 184. Lord Krishna alone is the bestower of the fruits of all auspicious work. His lotus feet are worshipped by the masters of yoga. Whatever his personal energy creates is eternal and real and beyond delusion, just as he is. Commentary. Since even jivas have the power to create substantial realities, whatever the Supreme Lord's ubiquitous energy creates is by definition even more substantial and real. Performers of austerities and pious works achieve wonderful results from their endeavors, but it is the Supreme Lord Krishna alone who provides those results.
Yeah, okay. Anupama Mother, you can read 185. You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Before I read that, can you explain
Please.
what's the meaning of ubiquitous? What does it mean?
Let's have a look.
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
Me as well. It means dictionary. Can you see the dictionary on your screen?
No, I can't.
You can't. All right, I can see. I put in the dictionary. It
Yeah.
says present is appearing or found everywhere.
Okay, okay. Yes, I can see.
Ubiquitous influence was felt by all the family. Cowboy hats are you all, how do you pronounce it? All ubiquitous among the male singers. All right, so you got the idea?
Yeah.
Always omnipresent, ever present, present everywhere, everywhere, all over the place, and pervasive.
Yeah.
So there, all right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Now that now we also know what it means. Okay,
Okay. Well,
185.
text 185. The
Yes.
incarnations of Sri Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, are likewise not different from him, their source. Just as he is eternal and real, so are they. Commentary. Now Narada is coming to his main point. Sri Krishna Deva is greater than all other forms of the Supreme Lord. Krishna tu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 1328. To prepare Gopakumar for this point, Nard sums up what he has said thus far by saying that all the avatars of Godhead are similar to Krishna because they all share in his qualities of being Nitya, eternal, and Satya, real. Thus all the forms of Godhead, like Lord Badrinath and Lord Vaikuntanath, are non-different from Lord Golokanath.
Okay. So here we got. So here we're kind of getting back on track here. Like here it's described. Now it is coming to the main point. Yeah, the main point. Now it's coming back to the main point. And then here's the storyline as well. It's Narada speaking to Gopal. So he's given all evidences how Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Yeah, so he's preparing Gopal for this. Yeah, so that's the. Okay, so I have a read of the next one, 186. Krishna alone is the source of all incarnations of Godhead, by his infinitely various excellencies, distinct from those of everyone else. He is always supreme. These excellencies are known by the term Bhaga. Okay, so in comparison to even Maya, Krishna, yeah, is distinct. Okay, commentary. The plenary expansions of God are all non-different, but Sri Krishna being the source of others is supreme. So again, simultaneously one and different. They're all non-different, but he's being the source is supreme. So that's the difference. Okay. Narada calls Krishna Samastri Rupa. Samasti Rupa, which means that Krishna's form subtly embodies all other forms of Godhead. Yeah, so all the other multiple millions of forms and expansions, it's all contained within Krishna. All right? Whereas the forms, say, of Lord Nrsingadev, they are manifestations for Krishna, from Krishna. And they do not necessarily embody, in one sense, have all the incarnations within Nrsingadev. But everything exists within Krishna, if I've understood that correctly. Yeah. Here. Krishna is Samashti Rupa, which means that Krishna's form subtly embodies all the other forms of Godhead. Only Krishna, the Lord of Goloka, is completely endowed with the special excellencies of the Supreme Lord, all of them rare, unlimited, infinite, beyond the power to describe, and not found the same way in anyone else. Yes, so that's what I was just described. It's being explained here. Not found in anyone else. Those excellencies are identified in the Vishnu Purana. Complete sovereignty, prowess, beauty, fame, knowledge, and renunciation. These 6 are called Bhaga. Yeah, so that's, we often give that definition, isn't it, of these, of Bhagavan. So here's the definition of Bhagavan. Yeah. These 6 opulences. Yeah. And these opulences is another subject, but all these opulences they the principal opulence that Krishna has above all of these is his beauty. Yeah, that's the principal opulence, which which all the others opulences manifest from. All right. So there's three of us reading. I think we're back with Mother Lavanga, isn't it? Mother Anupama read last. You can read 187. You still there, Mother Lavanga Latika?
Yeah, sorry. 186.
187.
187. And Krishna is different from Narayana, for when Krishna appears in his descent in the material world, he fully manifests the many unique glories that distinguish Krishna alone. Charming, attractive glories that can be known only to hearts softened by Prema Bhakti. Commentary. Someone may raise the doubt that since Narayana, the Lord of Vaikuntha, is also described in Vedic scriptures as the avatari or source of all incarnations, how can Shri Krishna be greater than Narayana? Narada replies in this verse, Krishna is the all-victorious Supreme Personality of Godhead, greater than everyone, including the Lord of Vaikuntha. When Krishna descends to the material world, he reveals especially sweet qualities that attract the hearts of everyone. What kinds of qualities distinguish Sri Krishna as greater than all avatars, even the avatari Narayana? To understand this topic properly, one needs a heart softened by pure love for Krishna. But even without that requirement, one can consider that most forms of Godhead, like Narayana of Badrikashram, are only avatars, whereas the Supreme Controller, Sri Narayana, the Lord of Vaikuntha, is not an avatar, but an avatari. Krishna, however, is both avatari and avatar. Thus, Krishna displays in his role as avatar the sweetness of his various pastimes, and his role as the avatari, the supreme status of the absolute controller. Therefore, Krishna is the greatest form of God. The special glories of Krishna will be further discussed in the later chapters of Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrta. Even the pastime of Krishna, in which he defeats and kills evil persons, are sweeter and more charming than anyone can describe or can infer by logic. Because each enemy Krishna kills receives Krishna's complete mercy. Moreover, the ways that Krishna defeats and kills demons is supremely attractive. What to speak of the ways Krishna reciprocates kindly with his surrendered devotees? With all of them, he reciprocates according to their rasa, sharing meals with them, relaxing with them, playing his flute for their pleasure, dancing with them in the rasa lila, and so on. This will be described more fully later on.
Okay, so I think we might be become more familiar now with what's being described. This is mentioned in the nectar of devotion, isn't it? There's the qualities given of the Lord, of which Narayan also possesses, but there's specific qualities that Krishna has that's listed there in the nectar devotion, which Narayan doesn't have. And one of them is mentioned here. Does anyone can say what those excellencies are which distinguish Krishna from Narayan?
His loving dealings with devotees.
Yeah, it's mentioned here. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's one.
Is it his flute as well?
Yeah.
Sorry?
The flute?
The flute, yeah, it's mentioned here. So that sharing, so rasa, sharing meals, so wonderful pastimes with his devotees, his flute playing. And what else? And there's two more.
His beauty.
His beauty, yeah. There's one more. And his pastimes, I think.
Pastimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have his intimate, very intimate bosom friend comes and he has devoting friends, very wonderful, very sweet, wonderful pastimes not seen in Vaikuntha, and the pastimes is with his devotees and where is it? And he plays his flute, which enchants the whole of Goloka, And yeah, so these are the 4 excellencies. So these are gonna be spoken of more. All right.
So, what is actually an avatari? Is an avatari somebody who comes down in their own form?
Yeah, as far as I can make out, an avatar
Yeah.
comes from an avatari.
I think he's the source of avatars.
Yeah, the source of
Yes.
avatars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like Lord Chaitanya is an avatari. Yeah. Or he is Swayam Bhagavan, the combined form of Radha and Krishna. So he is an avatari. He's not technically an avatar.
So why do we call him an avatar?
Well, we call him the golden avatar, but if you read a bit deeply, then he is actually Krishna himself.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's to be understood in that way. That's Krishna Das Kaviraj goes to quite some extent in substantiating that point in the Adi Leela. Yeah, he is Swayam Bhagavan. Yeah. So Krishna is Swayam Rupa. Yeah, he is Swayam. He's the original form which all other forms come from. Yeah. So now the Muni is making this distinction for the sake of Gopakumar. All right, what's the time? 3 minutes. Perhaps we read this 188. I think we're back with Anupama Mother. You could read. Is that right? Anupama is reading?
Yeah, 189. Yeah.
189. Short purple. Then we better stop there. I've got another appointment straight at 7, so I've got to finish a couple of minutes early. Go
Okay.
ahead, Mother.
According to the way one worships, the Lord awards different results. One who thus
Yeah.
reaches the goal he has pursued never feels
Wait,
discontent.
which verse are you reading?
189? Oh,
18
sorry. 188. I have to read. Sorry.
188. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Still, the servants of the Lord's incarnations achieve the greatest happiness in the loving service they prefer, each according to his own mood. Commentary. Since Sri Krishna Deva is the boundless ocean of all super excellent glories, why doesn't every devotee serve him and him alone to obtain the highest possible happiness? The answer is that every Vaishnav, no matter what form of Vishnu he worships, achieves a special individual happiness suited exactly to his own attitude, and this completely fulfills his heart's desires. All the Supreme Lord's pure servants know such perfect satisfaction, so they all attain the ultimate limit of happiness available in their own rasas.
Oh, okay. You understand that?
Yes.
Quite interesting how it was explained. So the greatest happiness is to be experienced in relation to loving service to Krishna. Yeah. So why doesn't everyone seek that or or experience that? Because, well, I'm just repeating what he said here. Yeah. Because everyone feels fully no matter what form one is worshipping the Lord, one is fully satisfied. Yeah. According to their particular rasa. Like the residents in Vaikuntha, they're worshipping the Lord, as we know, within a sense of awe and reverence. They are fully over flooded with the ecstasy in their relationship with Vishnu. There is no hankering for anything else or no feeling of lacking. But as we mentioned before, but objectively, the happiness available to the residents of Goloka Vrindavan has a special, unique flavor and sweetness, not to be experienced in worship of Krishna's other forms. Yeah. But other than that, they're all these worship Krishna other forms, they're all tasting the limit of happiness according to their particular rasa. Yeah. And even amongst the residents of Goloka, it's not like Mother Yasoda is hankering to be a gopi. No, she's not. She's fully all her emotions are completely overwhelmed in loving parental affection for Krishna. Yeah. There is nothing else that can enter her psyche but her feelings for love and affection for her darling little son Krishna. Yeah. So she's not complaining, no, I wish I could be in a gopi. Yeah, it doesn't exist. And the gopa's the same. Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you. We're getting to some, it's getting a bit more clearer now. That discussion about Lakshmi was quite technical. A lot of details there. It was interesting to read, but things are becoming a little bit more clearer now. Now, Narada Muni is getting back to the main point in establishing Krishna, yeah, as the personality to worship. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Hare Krishna. So please join us next week and we continue this unfolding story of Gopakumar. Okay. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Krishna conscious weekend and look forward to our readings next week. Hare Krishna.
Thank
if you
you.
can-
Thank you,
yeah,
Prabhu.
and
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And you can all use the same link. I've just, for these classes this week, I've created the same link which you can use. Okay. So you can just use this same link for next Thursday. Okay.
Okay. Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Hari Bol.
Gopakumar ki jai. Krishna ki jai. Mahalakshmi ki jai. Gaura Premanande Haribol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.